So I lied to you in the previous video, kept my jeans on for this, so I'm gonna be toasted by the end of this video. But want to do, as you saw in the title, a 20-minute challenge with a larger piece of Flint River. This is a boulder of it that I also got from Jeff Head. This was the point we made in the last video, and now we have 20 minutes to make a point out of this monstrosity. So with that being said, I'm gonna get my bopper here, and I'm going to wait like we did in the last video till we reach 1 minute on here, and then we'll begin. But in the 10 seconds we have remaining, or 15 seconds, I worked down this piece that I worked in an earlier video. There's a little bit of white on this side, but I'm excited for it, so I figured I'd show you that. And it's about that time. 3, 2, 1, let's get at it. Now, you're gonna have a lot of waste flakes. We're gonna keep them, and we will use them, just not today. Now, do I want to make the same point as I did in the previous video? Well, I'm not sure. It's a good question. I am not completely sure. But I know we'll make something, as long as it doesn't break. Getting quite a bit of good useful flakes here I can use for later. That definitely needs to be abraded. Abrading is a huge part of Flintknapping. If you don't abrade very much, try it and see if it makes a difference. Bet you it will, if you use it properly. I actually made a video recently on abrading if you want to check that out. Feel free. So, thinning here, as well as trying to get my basic shape, trying to keep length if I can. But again, I get 20 minutes, so we're at 2 minutes now. 3 minutes into the video, 2 minutes into napping, and this is what we have. Again, a lot of these are going to be hinges, so I'm not supporting any of the flakes that I'm taking, or advocating for them, not like supporting. I'm not advocating for many of the flakes that I'm taking as, you know, you should take these flakes when you're thinning or reducing your material, because I'm kind of cutting corners here and not doing things that I typically would when trying to play the conservation game, like those stripes there, like that. But using a zigzag method, it's well known, you can do that too. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but yes, this is raw chert from Georgia. Got it from Jeff Head. It's a really, really nice material to work, especially if you're a beginner, to kind of get into the trade and get into napping itself. A lot of folks find obsidian to be a good beginner stone, and hey, if that's good for you, cool. But if you haven't tried any Flint River, give it a shot. I think it holds together very well, has good strength. Yet also is a bit dense at times, and makes you really have to be intentional with how you abrade, yet you can really make some thin smoker points. Now, a big reason that hinged out was because of that little white pocket there. But we're starting to do some damage here. Almost 5 minutes in. And again, if I lose a little bit of length, forgive me. This isn't one of my normal videos, so where I'm taking my time. But it seems as if y'all like the challenge videos, so if you have a suggestion for a new video you'd like me to make, or a new challenge video, yeah, let me know down below. Definitely open to different ideas. I did a blindfold challenge one time. It didn't get a lot of views, but I did do it. And I have a couple of the 10-minute, 20-minute challenges. If you want to go check those out. And really the point of these videos is to challenge me to see how quickly I can nap. Secondly, it's also to kind of, I was going to use the word combat, but to also tell all the people who are questioning about how long, I bet the Indians only took, 5 minutes to nap, and then they're so talented and so good. Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the best napper or anywhere close, but I have a good handle on this, and I am using modern tools, copper tools, which is totally okay in our world. But no, you can't. Native Americans couldn't pick up a stone like I did and in 1 minute get it down to a finished point. It's just not feasible or possible, depending on the outcome that we're talking about. If you're talking about getting something like this, a spall, you can get that in about 3 seconds if your platform is ready and everything else. But concerning making a complete point, well, that's a whole nother story. Okay. Got a little red marker on me, for those who know what I'm talking about. Okay. Need to find a way to bevel this edge. And neat. These areas. Also going to switch boppers to a lead-filled bopper. Both of these tools you can find online at flintknappingsupplies.com. It's a good place to get some tools. Let's see, so we're still under 10 minutes. And still doing some good damage, making progress. Need to bevel the edge back. But if you ever considered getting into flint napping, definitely give it a shot. Pick up a few cheap tools online, or really you can make them yourself. At first, you may look at what I'm doing and say, I can barely clean my hand and, you know, hit the rock that I'm trying to hit. It'll take some time. You know, I was scared at first when my buddy Lewis showed me how to nap. I'm like, I'm gonna hit my other hand. You might, but you know, practice and experience will come. I think truly, and I can say this, speaking for myself, that the more I got into it and the more people I met who did the same thing, it just became just an addicting hobby that with a lot of great people involved. Like with anything, you can eventually monetize it, but I would suggest don't come to the hobby just looking for money or looking for this or looking for that. It's not that's a good way to probably not grow in your flint napping. I'm talking about initially now, don't get me wrong. You know, I just made my first point, let me sell it for however much. No, try to grow. Keep your early points. You'll really regret if you sold them later on. And I know time and time again people ask me, what was your first point like? What did it look like? And, you know, they want to see an example of, you know, well, they see where I'm at now, and they're like, well, where did you begin? Were you always that good? It's like, no. It took time. And a lot of encouragement. I might have given up on it, certainly, if I didn't have people who encouraged me to keep doing it. At the end of the day, the reason I flint nap is because it's fun. It's fun. It gives me something to be, you know, proud of in a good sense. Pride in itself is not a great virtue, but it's a good sense of accomplishment. Man, I did that. I've often found myself in situations where I talk to people, they say, well, what do you do? I say, well, and I tell them my job, my profession. Is like, well, what else do you do? And eventually it gets down to my hobbies, and I say, well, I'm a flint napper. And I always, when I used to say that, I felt like people would write me off and say, what are you? You're weird, you know. I also play chess, and people always think chess is weird, but I think people now, I don't speak for everybody, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just a unique hobby that not everybody does, and it's just fun. Sorry for my rant there. It's not really a rant. Now we're getting to 12, 13 minutes now, and I've just been kind of thinning it out quicker than I typically would. Just doing some thinning. I could go Clovis here, I could go clay point, I could go corner notch, I could go a bunch of different routes. I think a good point for starters, or for beginners, is a pickwick point. Good point to make. Very simple. It's got a typical blade shape and is a stemmed point, so you don't have to fool around with trying to figure out the notching situation. And it's a point that kind of transcends different regions. It may not be called a pickwick everywhere, but Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, definitely some of the lower states it is. Would be a good point to start out with. I may go for that here. And also, I want to add this to my discussion earlier. A lot of Native Americans have made some fantastic points that are just thin and perfect, especially in Florida. They had some amazing coral to work. But the majority of the time, most of the time, they made them for use. Meaning they weren't always going to look perfect, especially after many, many years of rotting away in a field somewhere, getting hit by a tiller or something. It certainly won't look perfect. But you could also make the case that, hey, in their original form, they work. So I think that's the case for many points. But they were made for use, so they weren't always G10 examples. Put it that way. I hope this does what I wanted to, but it might not. No, it did. All right, we got about a little under 4 minutes. What I'm going to do is make sure my blade shape is good. Very quickly at the tail end, I'm gonna work on the base. Uh-oh. Got a little dents up there towards the tip. Don't have time to isolate. This could be bad. No, that was good. Okay, so not criticized too bad. Let me go ahead and do this. Minute and a half. Let's see, pressure flaker and my pad down here. Less than a minute. Gotta make it count. Gotta make it count. Where are we at? We got 30 seconds. What are we at now? 10 seconds. Is that time? Yeah, that's time. Whew. Well, let's see what we got. A big old Pickwick. Honestly, for 20 minutes from that, I mean, come on. That's pretty sporty right there. That is pretty sporty, not gonna lie. Now, yes, I would do a lot of cleanup on this. I'd probably focus on getting some better flake scars, particularly right there. Take a hit to meet this one, but not terrible. Translucent, as a lot of this Flint River stuff is. This was an earlier preform that I made off camera, making sure my flakes and everything were good. But honestly, this came out really, really nice. So 20 minutes, I might have gone a second over. Y'all have to pardon me on that if I did, but that'll do it. So this was a 10-minute point. This was a 20-minute point. Yeah, I think I definitely did a better job on this one for sure. It's not uniform, it's not perfect, but we did okay. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I really appreciate y'all's support for the channel by just watching. And you don't even have to like the video, just watch it, and that makes me happy. And if you're able to get something out of this, I truly hope that you are, whether it be through my techniques or I don't know, just me blabbering about stuff. Hopefully it was helpful. And now I'm gonna take these jeans off. It's 97 degrees outside, so there's no telling what the wind chill factor is. Probably over 100. All right, catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all again, and more videos to come.